Hello everybody, Voidmaster here. Welcome to another episode of my Ninjago Lego set series, even though one of these sets is a Ninjago. But anyway, today we'll be reviewing my May and June sets. These are the sets I got in the last 2 months, and yeah, as you can see there's 4 sets to go over, so without further ado, let's get into the video. First up, we got the Lego Creator 3-in-1 T-Rex. Now, as you can see, this is the smallest of the 3 sets, and it's actually not a Ninjago set, but, you know, it kind of fits with the whole theme a little bit, and I do like this set. I think it's interesting. I do really like it, so I want to talk about it. But yeah, anyways, this is pretty obviously a T-Rex. This is part of the 3-in-1 Creator set. This is actually a very old set from, like, what, 2017? But yeah, it's still available just because it's such a good set, and you can definitely see why. It has really good posability. The feet can move, the legs are on a ball joint, the tail's on a ball joint, the neck is on a ratchet joint, the head is on a ball joint, yeah, and the arms are on ball joints. And yeah, as you can see, one of the main problems with this set is that it is not very stable. Like, it's not stable. I can't one-hand stabilize this, which sucks because it is like it is such a cool set, but it's so hard to use because it's very top-heavy just because of that giant head. And overall, you know, it looks really good posability, but the stability is just okay. Overall, not a bad set, and certainly holds up very well for how old it is, but certainly there is room for a little bit of improvement. Next up, we got the Lloyd Elemental Power Mech. As you can see, you know, this mech is, well, I don't actually have much to say about it. It's very similar to the other Elemental mechs, you know, exactly the same articulation. It can articulate at the waist, if I could get it to move, which right now I can't, and all the limbs articulate plus the feet. This one also has a little bit of extra playability with this samurai helmet, which can move up and down, but yeah. With aesthetic, I'd say this is probably actually the weakest out of all of the 4 power mechs. Now, I'm not going to really compare it to the other power mechs. I might do that in a future video. I might do some comparisons pretty soon. Maybe stay tuned for that. But overall, the thing's colors are kind of all over the place. You know, you got some red, some black. I don't think the gold worked very well here. I think they should have removed a color, maybe the red or the gold. I think this would have been a lot more unichrome, but there's even some gray on there because of the joints. But overall, this is a very disjointed mech. Now for shaping, like for how it is shaped with them, I think it's actually a very good mech. You know, it's very similar to the Kai mech in overall shape. I think it's definitely different, but it's very similar to the Kai mech and how it's like organized. But it also has a samurai helmet. But yeah, overall, I think this is a good mech, but I think it is definitely the weakest out of the 4 elemental mechs. Just because of those colors, and the weapons are a little weak. It's just 2 swords. Not bad, but overall, I think this mech could use a lot of improvements, specifically in the colors. But yeah, overall, good build. I'd just give it like a 7.5 out of 10, but definitely not perfect. Next on the list is the Dragonian Storm Village. Now, I know this is a minifigure set, and I'm not including minifigures, so this might be a little biased. But I don't think that matters because I actually really love this set, even just as a set. I think as a small little structure build, it works really well. There's this little spinner, which works really well. It actually spins somewhat better than some of the actual official spinners. Then it has this skull, which I really like the design of. This cage, pretty basic, but you know, it's pretty cool. My favorite thing is probably the bridge function, where the bridge can fall. I think that's really cool. Moving to the back, we have this rope which can detach to be a kind of a grapple, and we also have a dungeon which you fall into if you break the bridge, and there's a little skeleton in there. So yeah, overall, not a super large or complex build, but it doesn't need to be. It's a fun, small build. Definitely one I would recommend to smaller collectors, and especially to minifigure collectors, because this thing's minifigure selection is amazing. The build itself is not quite as strong as the minifigures, but still very, very strong. Overall, very good design, good villain base, and you know, overall, definitely one I would recommend, because it also comes with some S-tier minifigures. So yeah, overall, amazing set, amazing minifigures, just, you know, very few complaints with it. You know, I would like to maybe see a bigger version of this kind of build, just because I like it so much, like maybe see a bigger Dragonian Storm Village, but for this set, that's not a problem. 9.5 out of 10, would 100% recommend. And the final build on this list, and by far the largest, in fact I think it's larger than the other three combined, is the Cole's Titan Dragon mech. Now this mech firstly is massive. It dwarfs every other mech. This is the largest mech by height that has ever been in Ninjago. I have a minifigure here for scale, and you can see this thing is huge. Now, you might think that a massive build like this would have the same problems as my Ultra Combiner mech. The stability wouldn't be great, and the articulation would be mediocre, because it has to stabilize itself. That's actually not true for either. The thing isn't perfect in stability, it's fallen over a couple times, but for a mech of this size, very good. Granted, those back plates and the sword kind of imbalance it. You know, if one falls off or you take one off, it comes a little bit heavy in either the front or the back. But together, this mech is actually shockingly stable. Now, articulation is very good. The joints are usually very stiff. They're very strong joints because they have to be. You know, there's a double ratchet here. I think this is another double ratchet here. I actually have no idea what those are called. I'm just calling them ratchet joints because it sounds best. A ball joint on the hands. I think there's like a really weird mechanism for the feet, a very strong mechanism for the knee, and I think it's also double ratchet for the legs, and I think it's one of those weird circle things for the chest. I'm not going to move it too much just because, again, they're very strong, and this is hard to do with one hand. But, yeah, overall, great articulation. Pretty much everything you need for a mech. Feet, knees, legs, torso, head, shoulders, elbows, and hands. Plus, to an extent, these back things have articulation. Now, if I had to make a couple complaints about this thing, these are very minor, these are very nitpicky, these are mostly my opinion, but these things, I thought these things had a feature where they were down and then you had like a play feature to go up. They don't, and I kind of wish they did, because they really bulk up the mech, and that gives it a lot of the size. It's actually not that much taller than the Combiner mech if you don't include those massive blades. Another thing, the colors are a little all over the place. They're not nearly as much as Lloyd's, and it's not really an issue, but the black, the gray, the orange, and the white together, the mech certainly fits together, but it's a little bit chaotic, especially with the gold that's used for the blade. The blade also seems a little excessive. Like, this thing is as tall as the mech itself, and it just feels, it's a little much. It's fine, like, it's a great weapon, but it kind of feels, oh, and those fell over again, whatever. But it feels a little much. And as you can see, without the wings, this thing looks it still looks very good, and it almost looks incomplete, almost, because it has nothing there, and it looks kind of empty on the back. But, yeah. Overall, though, 9.5 out of 10, very good. Only some very minor complaints, and for a mech this size, those aren't really super important. Love this thing. Would recommend buying if you're a collector. Not so much if you're a person who likes to play, or I wouldn't recommend this for like a small child. Like if you're getting this for a kid, because it has only one minifigure and it's massive and very complex to build, like for these joints. But yeah, overall, very good mech. Would recommend if you're a collector, and even if you're just a sort of smaller collector, like not really a big time buyer, if you want to get one build, I would maybe recommend this. Maybe not as much as Shadow Dojo, just because I want to have such good minifigures, but this is definitely one of the top ones I would recommend. So yeah, those are my 4 May and June sets. Now, if I had to rank them, you know, against each other, I would probably put the Lloyd's mech in last, then the Creator T-Rex, the Dragonian Storm Village, and obviously the Cold Titan mech in first. Now, excluding the T-Rex, because that's not a Ninjago set, how would I rank these against the other Ninjago sets? Now, I'm gonna have to make a new ranking after this video for all the sets, because I've had some different, like, my opinions have changed a little bit, and obviously I have a bunch of new sets, but overall, this one I would probably put in the spot directly behind the Cole and Storm mech, which now if you'd also include my most recent sets, that'd probably be 10th or 11th. The Dragonian Storm Village, I would maybe put above the Zane and J mech, but below the Kai mech, which I think is now 6th place. And the Cole mech, I'm either going to put, I like him more than the Ultra Combiner mech, like a lot more. I don't know if I like him more than the Shadow Dojo. I still haven't had this mech long enough to really make a decision on that, so it is either 2nd or 1st. But yeah, overall, these are all great sets. Or, I guess I wouldn't really call the Lloyd mech great, I would call it just good, but all good, 2 great sets. You know, if you like any of these, I would recommend buying them. I think they're still all on sale, although the Lloyd mech and the T-Rex maybe not. The last two definitely still available. But yeah, I would recommend getting, if I had to make a decision on these, definitely get the Storm Village. That's a very good set to get. It's not super expensive. The T-Rex I would get if you like dinosaurs. The Colmech if you're a big Ninjago collector. And you can probably skip the Lloyd's Mech. I just got the definitive set and because I thought it looked cooler on the box than it actually did. But yeah, overall, great assortment of sets. And yeah, without further ado, I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a good day and a great year. And that's Voidmaster signing out. See ya!